Hello, everyone. My name is Simon Olivier, the leader of Cycle H2O, a water investment fund investing in water technology and solution across Canada and the US. I'm delighted to be joined here by Senator Henry Stern, directly from California, who's visiting Montreal today for the Climate Solution Festival, among about 2,000 other people, to talk about solution to really kind of address climate change and make sure that we invest in a sustainable future. With that, I'm going to ask Senator to quickly introduce himself.
I mean, I'm just here. We're in a party. We're doing podcasts. It's a Monday morning, and there's nowhere I would rather be. They let me off of work today in the legislature because this is that important. I oversee all our climate change policies in California. I was once the youngest senator in California, and I got old over the last decade, but was the first millennial elected in California, and a climate change lawyer myself, and worked actually in Montreal. Montreal. How do I say it? Montreal. You don't ever say the T. Is that how we mess it up? We always mess it up in California with the T. Whatever. I'm not going to say Montreal. But this relationship, the brain power that's here, we want what you got. So tell me, we want to. I'm not saying steal. We'll pay, but we want the technology coming out of this place. We want the ideas, and we're here for an exchange in the best way possible. So anyway, happy to be here.
Amazing. And thank you. And if I make a link between politics and power that is often considered being about money, and you made an interesting point being about energy and natural resources, which is water. And we all know that water doesn't know any borders. And right now we're investing in some technologies being used actually, as a matter of fact, in California, one of which in Orange County for removing contaminants, one of which is called PFAS, called also in the market the forever contaminants or forever chemicals. And we've got a company headquartered here in Sherbrooke, Quebec, called Eco Filter Tech, who's been successful to pilot their solution with Orange County to really address a growing problem that is being regulated right now. And that's why innovation in water doesn't know any frontiers or borders. And we love the collaboration with state of California.
So how does it work? Tell me, is it a magical membrane? Because the PFAS, there's such tricky pollutants, and we've found them in all our systems. They're everywhere now. What's the company doing?
Yeah, the company came up with a chemical resin. It's a polymer resin that can really integrate and amalgamate all the PFAS to ease the destruction of it and to reduce the cost.
I see. Bring it together, not so dispersed. Kind of
Exactly.
catch it, grab it.
Because the concentration of PFAS is kind of parts per million, some case parts per trillion.
Sure, exactly. Too small.
And you need to, especially in potable drinking water, you need to be sure that you can really concentrate them to really destruct them. And the beauty about their technology is that the polymer can be reused over and over and over without using any chemical to clean them up. They use corn oil, natural base, to really, and that's really where the innovation comes from, is on how it works, but also it can be reused, which is way better for the environment and also for your wallet at the end of the day.
Sure. And so right now, this is deployed in Orange County?
They're testing it right now.
They're testing it.
And Orange County is kind of what we call the state of the art in terms of technology assessment and appraisal.
Yeah.
And just to make the list to be kind of tested by Orange County, it's almost winning the Grammy Awards.
Oh,
right?
no, this is it. They say Hollywood, but when it comes to groundwater management, Orange County is like the Hollywood of water.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, and so the work they're doing there is a big deal. And then we copy them in LA a lot of times, but they have very special deposits. They can store differently. They're doing desal, but it's really because they don't have enough. They don't have enough. And that drought mentality drives so much innovation where scarcity, it boosts your demand for new things. You can't just, expect it all to be here forever. So I don't know. Up here in the north, I figure I just bring some home in my suitcase, but it's a little heavy to bring all this water. We need more. We need more.
Indeed, and to that point, Senator, there's one thing that you do well or better than other states or countries around the world about water, which is to recycle and reuse the water. And we all know that water is a finite commodity or quantity that cannot be created, and at some point, we reuse a lot of our natural resources, whether it's wood, paper, aluminum, and others, but
Yeah.
water, not yet. But California is kind of leading the way on that front.
I would say we got there a little late, just because we had it good for a long time, but really over the last decade, supplies have been so strained, and it really doesn't feel like this is just a every once in a while thing we need to worry about. Our drought cycles have compressed from 1,000-year events to 100-year events to decade events, right? And so we have to do it. I In LA, we're trying to capture 75% of our water, I think, by 2035. Because right now the LA River is not really a river; it's just like a drainage ditch. You ever watch the movies? You see it, right? You can drive a car through it, but we need smarter ways to manage that water supply, because right now we're wasting it. So our storm events can move water out really quickly, but they actually don't capture it. So part of our stuff is on nature-based solutions too. So it's not just on the treatment side, right? But it's on where to put it in an urban landscape, and trying to find, new development patterns, bioswales, and, remediation of old industrial zones to kind of breathe life back into them. We have a lot of groundwater recharge we're doing in Los Angeles. So, LA was built because of water, right? It was water first because there was a huge river, and then they figured out there was oil there. So then it became oil. And, but after a while, we killed off those sources. And so we're a very hungry customer, for better or for worse. And so trying to rely on ourselves a little more is helping. But look, we're still borrowing from the Israelis, for example, the Netafim. Those guys came in real early to the state with the joint venture with the Mexican company. And so we're still learning from some of these arid regions across the world. There's some Arab countries that actually we've been starting to, there's some joint investment going on. So it's, we're not perfect, but we're certainly a great market scale.
You mentioned something very interesting about the inception of LA, that LA was created first, water, and second, they found that there was oil. And now we all know that water is fueling more of the economy than oil and gas does. From a pricing and market driver point of view, I mean, you work on legislation, policies, and right now there's an appearance of a disconnect between price and value of water. When you compare it to oil, for example, as another natural resource.
Yeah.
What's your view on where the market is headed in terms of the economics of water?
There's no market. There's markets. I mean, unlike oil, that is a market, right? That you can play in that global game. It's so regionally dominated, right? So the economics are all driven by whatever the conditions may be. And so you can command there's a very robust market in Southern California, and there's a lot of innovation happening, and market-based work. On the other hand, in some of the older counties of the north where there's too much water, you just have old school flood control districts and rice farmers and people trying to get rid of water, and almost an inverted market. So it's a really complex landscape that I don't think has found its ability to fully scale. That said, when it comes to groundwater specifically, I will say that there's the private capital that has moved into that space is, people are making money. It's just the politics of it get tricky, because, you think you fight wars for oil, but water has always been a fight. And whether it's a north-south divide in California, or our agreement between the Western states that's in negotiations right now, it's tense, right? We all have one Colorado River we draw on. I turn on my tap or put my kids in the bath with Colorado River water. that has to make its way from there through Arizona, Nevada. So, you know, the more you can localize and regionalize supply, the more those larger market conflicts are mitigated. But you got to get price signals in a way that can stimulate innovation. And I think in LA we're doing that better and better, but it's still it's not where we need it to be. It's still it's not quantified enough, and it's still not seen the same way. It's still seen from abundance, not a scarcity mindset, I think.
My colleague Carolina, who works for me at the Cycle H2O, was in San Francisco a few weeks ago with a group called Imagine H2O, which is one of the worldwide water accelerator. They have an office in Singapore.
Wow.
And based in California, but they work.
One of my best friends from college started that. I didn't even realize.
Yeah. Scott and the team. And
Scott for many years.
Yeah,
they're doing that well.
Yeah, no, amazingly well.
Yeah.
They've seen and reviewed like thousands of different startups, and more they're expanding. And right now, people get it that that technology is part of the solution when you can build an equation with policy, regulations, and capital.
Yeah.
And hence us launching our $30 million fund to invest in early stage companies. And we decided to be strategic with H2O Innovation Inc., which is a company that operates several plants in California.
Okay.
On the water treatment. And coming back on the topic of reuse, it'd be so interesting to maybe put some of our politicians and government officials on a plane and bring them to California to see what's being done, because there's a mindset about drinking recycled water.
Hey, if the Kardashians can drink it, we can all drink it. I'm sorry, right? Like,
and we had to work with a local brewery in California to come up with a beer. Made 100% from wastewater from the LA sewers. And that really got people thinking that it's possible, and that's really part of the future.
It's not just possible, it can be sexy. Like, for me, what is this one called I drank from some IPA from Northern California, shower beer. I'm like, why am I excited to drink shower beer? We are able to capture all this in these very strained markets and do some really exciting things. The Tillman Pumping Station that's right in the heart of Sepulveda Basin, which is essentially was a flood control project of the Army back in World War II. We've now turned it into the largest water capture facility in the whole West. It's gonna basically take all of LA's water in the valley, drain it to one place, and treat it, and then bring it back through the system. And we don't use as much energy that way too. That's part of the big value add, right? If we can keep it, it's heavy, right? Moving this stuff around is a lot. So relying on wastewater treatment, finding those, the ways to market. I just love that all that has really started in the Las Virgenes Water District, not in even city of LA, but the district that serves, I'm telling you, the stars. And they love it. So, I mean, they know they need it. And that's also where the fires are burning, and so it's there's just a practicality, I think, about innovation when you live in a place that big things are possible.
I'd like to turn it back to you, being in California and looking up at Canada. And you've been involved in the cap and trade, the CO2 agreement, Quebec and California, which we're really kind of excited about that. But from a water point of view, what is your perspective down in California about the country of Canada?
Well, Hydro-Quebec is a dominant force in not just the Northeast, but in the sort of resource politics of our country, right? And then you go up to British Columbia, you have the same kind of the market power up here is huge. The Northeast learned it all too well in the U.S. when we started messing around, and then they said, well, maybe we'll hold some of that back and just keep it for Canadians. And that was an anxious moment in our politics. So, I'm here as insurance policy to make sure you guys don't hate us. We still need No, in all seriousness, I think doing this diplomacy isn't just about carbon markets or even water or energy. It's about sort of a prosperity driven innovation partnership that we can do joint investment in infrastructure, and in we are, your capital is building our transmission lines, our rail systems, and vice versa. And so I think we've all started as Americans started to realize just how interconnected we are. It's not just like maple syrup. It's like turns out it's everything. The cars we drive, the steel we use, the timber we use, the power we enjoy. So I think it's a great moment for Canadian, and especially for the Quebecois, but like just a assertion of its own version of power, of a different version of power. That's not just like the blunt force, but a smart power.
Yeah.
And we want to be a part of it.
And longer term and sustainable, right? And really
Power
vision.
that lasts.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Vision for the future. You mentioned that like a strong nexus between energy and water, and we're really kind of thankful of one of our startup based here in Quebec called Regional, and they were able to address the next frontier of building energy efficiency.
Okay.
There's been a lot of money that's been put in LED lights, in better insulation of buildings, but they're tackling the wastewater from hotels, industrial sites to extract the waste heat from showers and all that to reheat the incoming water and to save the energy cost by as much as 50%.
Wow.
Which is amazing.
Where are they in the building? Like where does it catch it?
They go in the basement.
Yeah.
And they're really IP or differentiation, and they can separate what we call the brown water toilets with the gray water, which is the showers, your dishwasher.
Even if it's not separated out in the building, they can do the separation?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the innovation. Instead of
older buildings, they don't have the purple pipe or whatever your color is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Then instead of having a retrofit, you can install that machine that does the separation, extract the waste heat from the wastewater, and then it can reheat the incoming water. And after that, once the heat is extracted, the brown water joins the gray water back in the sewer.
Is it a chemical process? What is how do
it's physical. It's a mechanical process.
It's a mechanical process.
Yeah.
Is it installed at in the individual bathroom?
No, it's all collected in a multi-residential building.
Yeah.
And the basement.
Okay.
And it's a kind of a vortex.
Yeah.
That extract the solids, and the liquid goes in the middle.
Wow. How big?
It's about for a 50 unit building. It's about half the size of this room. It's about 10 by 20. 10 feet by 20 feet.
So you put it in your boiler room. Whatever that is.
Yeah, in the basement, in the parking lot, in the garage.
Yeah.
And very successful. And that's amazing innovation, but probably the worst place to launch it is here in Quebec because the electricity rate is so cheap, right? But
Stop bragging.
No, but that's the reality, right?
I know.
And you look at California, where you pay 10, 15, 20 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yes, I do.
That solution becomes so effective. And now they just signed a partnership with Engie in Paris and France to go after the European market.
Yeah.
And next is going to be the US. Then that's amazing to see young startups being able to export solution. And we're seeing the same thing, the opposite, kind of California companies coming up here.
But this is all giving me some FOMO. It feels like, okay, you're doing great. You have great ideas. Your power rates are cheap. I'm like, what are we doing? What? I want to sell you something. What are we coming up with? I guess movies. You watch our movies. Maybe you don't even watch our movies. What do you even watch? I don't know. Drink our milk? No, you don't need that. You don't need our butter. What do you need from us? Nothing. I worry we're gonna be irrelevant. This is all making me nervous. But I'm happy. We'll be a provincial, maybe not officially provincial in California, but we like to be our own nation state anyways. But no, I want a vortex. Let's get some. Seriously.
Yeah.
I have too much FOMO. Do you talk about FOMO in Canada? Is that a thing?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So I just didn't know in the Francophile region if there's like a French version of FOMO. But we have that of you. So bring us a vortex.
And I think the innovation I was talking about that doesn't know any frontier, and like Imagine H2O is a good catalyst of that. and we bring Canadian companies, one of which is on the desalination of water,
Yeah.
right? Then, I mean, you've got needs in California, but you could look at the Middle East, in South America, is got the challenge is still expensive to do
Oh, yeah.
from an energy point of view. But we've got great companies emerging, having kind of sustainable solution using solar panel, using movement of waves, wave energy to
Okay.
do the desalination.
Yeah.
And in California, I need to give you some kudos for your forward looking to embrace some early stage innovation,
We had
because
to.
it's not given to all utilities around the world to do that.
No, but we're forced into it, right? I mean, we built Southern California. We built this mega economy, but then started to run out, and we had a big pipe from the north, and then that wasn't enough, and we were starting to kill off the delta, and so we've been forced into innovation. But yeah, now we got to sort of take advantage of all that know-how and be a good exporter too.
We're here today at the Climate Solution Festival.
Yes.
What are some of your expectations for the next couple days? Packed agenda with innovators, investors,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, and I believe this is your first attendance
Yes,
to the festival.
It is.
Then what's some of your takeaways and expectations?
Look, this is the who's who of climate innovation in Canada, and
And around the world.
and frankly, for me to get to walk around a room and meet somebody from Morocco, from Iraq, from Israel, like to have those kind of people all unified in one place in the room, and just the diversity of thoughts and ideas and capital and challenges, it's very cool. There's a reason they let me play hooky from work today, because we actually we want to see some of these companies come on to California and get involved. So we're setting up an innovation fund in the state, and we're going to be looking both at academic lab partnerships, but also kind of private capital as well, and trying to use public capital smarter, not just be a grant making bodies, but doing sort of public venture work. And so that's one of my little homework assignments here, is learn from the people here, and then try to save the taxpayer some money, or even maybe make them some money. That's if I can take dollars from our climate system and make money, then I actually can make the case. So hopefully I can bring home the bring it on home.
Amazing, Senator. Then we'll send you some innovation, but we'll also send you some of our politicians so that they can learn about your best practices.
Well, I don't know if you want to learn about our politicians. You think your politics are crazy? Our politics are crazier. We'll beat you on that anytime. We'll see you at the Ultimate Fighting Championship, right? It's crazy, but it's also theater, and thank God that there's actual progress happening too. That's what I will say. Despite all the chaos, really, when you make something that's very useful, it defies the politics. The politics, you don't turn away from prosperity, right? So that's the hope here, is that we can transcend all this craziness and just stay stable. So we want to link up for a long time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hopefully I get to come back. All right. See you guys.